It's been widely reported that Spurs are interested in two strikers for the January transfer window. Serbian striker Dušan Vlahović from Juventus. He is available for just £20 million. Other reports are stating that Spurs are in for a shock signing. Former Manchester United striker Mason Greenwood from Marseille. The under-21s have just crashed out of the virtual trophy, and all of the Carabao Cup details, including the draw for the quarter-finals if Spurs beat Newcastle on Wednesday evening. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. This is another episode of Tottenham News where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Now, before I get into it, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to every single person that subscribes to this channel. Now, today we have just hit 195,000 subscribers. It is unbelievable numbers, and also 167 million of you have watched this channel in the last 7 years or so. So your support is absolutely amazing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot. On Tuesday evening, the Spurs under-21s were in action in the virtual trophy, drawing 2-2 away at Cheltenham Town. Cheltenham won the game 3-1 on penalties, giving them an extra point. Martin put the host 1-0 up after 5 minutes. Iro then equalised on 25 minutes. Taylor then restored Cheltenham's lead after 67 minutes, and Tottenham's Rio Kiamatan then scored on 89 minutes. The development side finished bottom of Southern Group B and are now out of the competition. They played 3, won 0, drew 2 and lost 1. The club have announced some fixture changes for the Spurs women in the Barclays Women's Super League. Now, they have announced the kick-off change to 2 of our fixtures scheduled for December after being selected for TV broadcast. Our home clash against Aston Villa on Sunday, the 7th of December, will now kick off at the earlier time of 12 noon, televised live on Sky Sports and WSL's official YouTube channel. Meanwhile, our trip to Manchester United the following weekend on Sunday, the 14th of December, will now kick off at the later time of 2:30 p.m, televised on BBC Two. Now, a fixture change for the Spurs under-18s. Now, the Tottenham under-18s Premier League fixture at Fulham has been rescheduled and will now take place on Saturday, the 20th of December. Kick-off will be 11 a.m. at Hotspur Park. The match was previously scheduled to take place this coming Saturday on the 1st of November. Spurs are, of course, in Carabao Cup action on Wednesday away at Newcastle United at St James's Park. Now, if Spurs beat Newcastle on Wednesday night in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup, we will book our place in the competition's last 8, with the quarter-final draw set to follow shortly afterwards. The draw takes place live on Sky Sports main event following coverage of our 4th round tie with Newcastle on Wednesday evening. The draw will begin approximately at 10:30 p.m. UK time. All 8 quarter-final ties will be played in the week commencing the 15th of December. So if we do reach this stage, the game will be sandwiched between our Premier League trip to Nottingham Forest on Sunday the 14th of December and home league clash with Liverpool on Saturday the 20th of December. Newcastle boss Eddie Howe has been talking about team selection ahead of the Spurs game in the Carabao Cup 4th round on Wednesday. He said it is important for this game to make the right decision. We want to progress. The competition means a lot to us. We are the current holders. We don't want to give that up easily. However, I have a squad. I need to try and get the balance right. These are players who need the football. Premier League legend and TV pundit Alan Shearer has chosen his team of the week for match week 9. 2 Spurs players have been included: goalkeeper Guillermo Vicario and centre-back Mickey van der Ven. Who Scored have released the following stat. Now, no Premier League player has attempted more dribbles, 69, and successfully completed more, 32, than Tottenham's Mohamed Kudus this season. Now, a report has just been published by Team Talk, and they are stating that Mason Greenwood's remarkable revival at Marseille has started a transfer tug-of-war with Tottenham among several top European clubs circling the 24-year-old forward. The report then goes on to say he joined Marseille from Manchester United in a move worth around £26.5 million, while he was seen as one of the most gifted players to have broken through it at Old Trafford in recent years. Serious criminal allegations brought against the player, which were ultimately dropped by the Crown Prosecution Service, left the club feeling it would be best if they moved him on. The report then goes on to say that Mason Greenwood has rediscovered his scoring touch, netting 21 goals for Marseille last season and already scoring 8 in all competitions this term, including 4 goals against Le Havre in October. His pace, versatility and clinical finishing have made him one of Europe's most sought-after talents, with Manchester United set to profit from a 50% sell-on clause in any future deal. The report then goes on to say that Team Talk understands that Barcelona lead the chase for Mason Greenwood, with scouts attending his recent masterclass against Le Havre. Now, the report then goes on to say that sources have stunningly revealed that Tottenham and West Ham United are also in the race for the former Premier League striker, eyeing a Premier League return for the former England international. This report then goes on to say that Spurs want another dynamic player in the squad who can drive and add legs, while West Ham see Greenwood as a player who can turn around their season and form. However, the optics of bringing him back to England are hard to surmount, and West Ham would struggle to convince him as he wants to play in the top competitions. This represents a significant hurdle for the London sides, but the interest in the ex-Manchester United man is there. It then goes on to say, with 30 goals in 48 games for Marseille, Mason Greenwood's stock is soaring and a 2026 move seems inevitable. Barcelona currently hold pole position, but the race for his signature is wide open. Now, a report has just been published by Caught Offside and The Boot Room, and they are both stating that Tottenham Hotspur are interested in signing Juventus striker Dušan Vlahović, and Fabio Paratici could be leading the pursuit. The 25-year-old Serbian has been linked with a move away from the Italian club, and they are prepared to sell him in the January transfer window, and according to The Boot Room, he will be available for just £20 million. Tottenham have the resources to pay up, and it remains to be seen whether they can get the deal done. Caught Offside have stated that Tottenham have an advantage in the Dušan Vlahović race. Other clubs are interested in signing the Serbian international attacker as well, but they are hoping to sign him on loan. On the other hand, Tottenham are preparing to offer a permanent deal in the January transfer window. That has given them an advantage in the transfer race because Juventus are hoping to get rid of the player on a permanent basis. Tottenham could use more quality and depth in the attacking unit, and the Serbian would be the ideal acquisition. He has proven himself in Italy over a number of years and has the physicality for the English game as well. He could compete with Dominic Solanke for the starting spot, and the England international has not been able to find the back of the net on a regular basis for Tottenham, and more competition for places would be ideal for Spurs boss Thomas Frank. Now, my thoughts on all of these stories in this episode. Let's start by talking about Alan Shearer's Team of the Week. 2 players from the Tottenham Hotspur squad included in his Team of the Week for match week 9. Spurs are sitting third in the Premier League table, by the way. Played 9, won 5, drawn 2, lost 2. We are in a good place at the moment. And, the football isn't super entertaining, but I tell you what, we're picking up results, and I tell you what, when we get some of our players back from injury, then I feel like a lot of things will start clicking, especially in that final third. But Van de Ven and Vicario this past week or so have been absolutely brilliant. Van de Ven scoring goals, 5 goals this season so far. I think he's Tottenham's top scorer this season. It says it all, doesn't it? That Thomas Frank has come in. He's really shored up that defence, and he's making the defenders score goals now as well. The set pieces are unreal at the moment, both defensively and attacking. I know a lot of people have been saying that we want to see more entertaining football. Who doesn't? Of course, we all want to see more entertaining football. But what I would say at this stage is let's see when Thomas Frank does have a full squad fit and available, and then let's see where we are. When we have creative players like James Maddison and Dejan Kulusevski out, and of course not had Dominic Solanke all season so far as well. They are big players, and that is a big loss to our new boss. So I think that he's doing a great job at the moment. And I feel like the entertaining football will come more as and when those players come back. And of course, some of our players as well. Javi Simmons, there is a lot more to come from him. Mohamed Kudus can't do all of it all of the time. And I think that, some people do really rely on him creating everything in that final third, which is pretty unfair. Of course, Son left. It creates a huge hole there. Who is going to play as a regular on that left-hand side? Let's wait and see. But I feel like Thomas Frank is testing out a number of players. Testing might actually be the wrong word there. He's rotating. He's rotating the squad. He's trying players out in different positions. Of course, against Everton, he tried Mohamed Kudus in the number 10. He's playing players in different positions. He's trying to see what their strengths are, and I think that Thomas Frank is doing a great job at the moment, and long may this continue. Of course, we've got the Newcastle game on Wednesday in the Carabao Cup. That's a huge game for us. Of course, all of us fans love cup competitions. But let's go back to talking about the subject of Vicario Van de Ven. Van de Ven getting on the score sheet, twice against Everton. Really, good finishes from him. And he seems really happy at the moment. And Thomas Frank was asked in the press conference about tying him down to a new contract. Of course, they've tied Bentancur down to a new contract, Christian Romero down to a new contract. This has got to be the next one, Van de Ven, because I've no doubt that the top teams across Europe will be looking at Van de Ven because he is one hell of a defender, both defensively and, of course, now scoring all these goals that he is from centre-back. And since being given the captain's armband, now that Romero has been out for these last few games, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. A real leader on the pitch as well. And I can see a different side. I tell you what, when some people get that captain's armband, you really do see a different side to a player. And I feel like we're seeing that with Van de Ven as well. Vicario has had a lot of stick from a lot of fans so far this season. But I tell you what, this past week or so, made a crucial save in the first half against Everton. Made another great save in the second half against Everton, keeping us in the game, keeping yet another clean sheet. And fair play to Vicario. The amount of shots that he faced in that Monaco game as well. It's been an unreal week for both of them, and long may this continue. What team Thomas Frank will put out on Wednesday, your guess is as good as mine. I feel like it is virtually impossible to pick the team that Thomas Frank is going to put out. Of course, he's rotating the squad really well. Made 4 changes against Everton from the Monaco game. I expect more changes as well for this cup game. But our away record at the moment this season has been absolutely fantastic. After the Newcastle game, of course, the games do come thick and fast. Again, because we're playing Chelsea on Saturday in the Premier League, 3 home games after the Newcastle one. So Chelsea at home, then followed by Champions League game against Copenhagen on Tuesday, followed by Manchester United at home in the Premier League, and then it will be the international break. So let's get through this period, and hopefully Thomas Frank, as I said earlier, will get some of his injured players back as well. Now, the under-21s are now out of the virtual trophy. Of course, they played 3, they drew 2 and lost 1. The 2 that we drew both went to penalties, and we lost both of them on penalties. But it's not about the group finish, and it's not about winning, losing or drawing these games. It is about the experience of our development stars. They face Plymouth, Bristol Rovers and Cheltenham. And of course, when you're facing league sides like this, they are physical battles. And, the under-21 side, the development side, would have gained some really, really good experiences, from these 3 matches. So fair play to them. And they can now concentrate on Premier League 2. Now, a couple of interesting ones. A couple of reports have come out stating that Spurs are interested in Serbian striker Dušan Vlahović. Of course, if you watch this channel on a regular basis, you will know that this name has cropped up in in many transfer windows, actually, in recent years. He has a great scoring record for Fiorentina, for Juventus, and, of course, Serbian international. A real physical presence, can finish. Very, very good finisher. And I tell you what, if he is available for £20 million, as one of the reports stated there, he has great physicality. And Thomas Frank, as we know, in virtually every press conference this season since taking over at Spurs, that is a word that Thomas Frank uses a lot, physicality. And if you want someone with physicality, you want someone who can find the back of the net, Dušan Vlahović is your man, £20 million. And I tell you what, if there is a deal to be done for the Serbian international, Fabio Prachci, who of course has now come back as one of our sporting directors along with Johan Langer, he will get this deal done. £20 million. I think this will be an absolute snip. Now, the links to Mason Greenwood. Now, various reports have come out and stated that Spurs and West Ham are interested. Barcelona are also interested as well. Of course, it seems like since he's left England, he has done extremely well on the pitch. Of course, he has had so many issues off the pitch. Can I see this one happening? Can I see Mason Greenwood returning to the Premier League? Absolutely not, for so many reasons. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe and well. Come on, you Spurs.